be a king and wear a crown is a thing more glorious to them that see it than it is pleasant to them that bear it. Do not tell secrets to those whose faith and silence you have not already tested. All my possessions for a moment of time. I do not want a husband who honors me as a queen, if he does not love me as a woman. I will have but one mistress and no master. There is only one Christ, Jesus, one faith. All else is a dispute over trifles. I would rather be a beggar and single than a queen and married. Although I may not be a lioness, I am a lion's cub, and inherit many of his qualities, and as long as the King of France treats me gently he will find me as gentle and tractable as he can desire, but if he be rough, I shall take the trouble to be just as troublesome and offensive to him as I can. I pray to God that I shall not live 1 hour after I have thought of using deception. I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too. Though the sex to which I belong is considered weak, you will nevertheless find me a rock that bends to no wind. Brass shines as fair to the ignorant as gold to the goldsmiths. Fear not. We are of the nature of the lion, and cannot descend to the destruction of mice and such small beasts. The stone often recoils on the head of the thrower. He who placed me in this seat will keep me here. If we still advise, we shall never do. A meal of bread, cheese and beer constitutes the perfect food. And therefore I'm come amongst you at this time, not as for my recreation or sport, but being resolved, in the midst and heat of the battle, to live or die amongst you all, to lay down, for my God, and for my kingdom, and for my people, my honor and my blood, even the dust. I know I have but the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart of a king, and of a king of England, too. Those who appear the most sanctified are the worst. I observe and remain silent. Anger makes dull men witty, but it keeps them poor. I have already joined myself in marriage to a husband, namely the Kingdom of England. I may not be a lion, but I am lion's cub and I have lion's heart. If I follow the inclination of my nature, it is this, beggar woman and single, far rather than queen and married. The past cannot be cured. I would rather go to any extreme than suffer anything that is unworthy of my reputation, or of that of my crown. Be always faithful to me, as I always desire to keep you in peace, and if there have been wiser kings, none has ever loved you more than I have. I grieve and dare not show my discontent, I love and yet am forced to seem to hate. I do, yet dare not say I ever meant, I seem stark mute but inwardly do prate. I am and not, I freeze and yet am burned, since from myself another self I turned. My care is like my shadow in the sun, follows me flying, flies when I pursue it, stands and lies by me, doth what I have done. There is no marvel in a woman learning to speak, but there would be in teaching her to hold her tongue. Much suspected by me, nothing proved can be. It is hard to find beauty in the art of self-expression. In the end this shall be for me sufficient, that a marble stone shall declare that a queen, having reigned such a time, lived and died a virgin. It is true that the world was made in 6 days, but it was by God, to whose power the infirmity of men is not to be compared. There is a close tie of affection between sovereigns and their subjects, and as chaste wives should have no eyes but for their husbands, so faithful liegemen should keep their regards at home and not look after foreign crowns. For my part I like not for my sheep to wear a stranger's mark nor to dance after a foreigner's whistle. Let the good service of well-deservers be never rewarded with loss. Let their thanks be such as may encourage more strivers for the like. I thank God I am endued with such qualities that if I were turned out of the realm in my petticoat I were able to live in any place in Christendom. When I was fair and young, and favour graced me, of many was I sought, their mistress for to be, but I did scorn them all, and answered them therefore, Go, go, go seek some other where. Importune me no more. Life is for living and working at. If you find anything or anybody a bore, the fault is in yourself. Mr. Doctor, that loose gown becomes you so well I wonder your notions should be so narrow. There is nothing in the world I hold in greater horror than to see a body moving against its head, and I shall be very careful not to ally myself with such a monster. Be of good cheer, for you will never want, for the bullet was meant for me, though it hit you. Although my royal rank causes me to doubt whether my kingdom is not more sought after than myself, yet I understand that you have found other graces in me. I would gladly chastise those who represent things as different from what they are. Those who steal property or make counterfeit money are punished, and those ought to be still more severely dealt with who steal away or falsify the good name of a prince. The name of a successor is like the tolling of my own death bell. Have a care over my people. You have my people, do you that which I ought to do. They are my people. See unto them, for they are my charge. I care not for myself, my life is not dear to me. My care is for my people. I pray God, whoever succeeded me, be as careful of them as I am. If there were 2 princes in Christendom who had goodwill and courage, it would be very easy to reconcile the religious difficulties. There is only one Jesus Christ and one faith, and all the rest is a dispute over trifles. I regret the unhappiness of princes who are slaves to forms and fettered by caution. If our web be framed with rotten handles, when our loom is well nigh done, our work is new to begin. God send the weaver true prentices again, and let them be denizens.